My name is Barbara Withelder, and I'm here for Gino because he had a meeting at 7:30, and he says trying to get away so he could be here, but he told me to get here. And I said, okay. But I would like to thank the city very much for cleaning up the front of City Hall. It looks much better. The fountain looks fantastic. The yard work is coming along swimmingly, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
Barbara, thank you. It's a nice compliment. We have made some extra effort recently. If any of you have been over to the rec center or the senior center, you'll see some really nice changes. We did a deep cleaning last month. But Brian and his crew are on top of things, and let's hear. There it is. I'm sorry. And things are looking terrific. Bill Tanner, who couldn't be here today, our Public Works Director, he's at a Regional Transportation Committee meeting, as is Richard Seacrest, our Development Services Director. Certainly, Billy deserves some of the credit too, Barbara, so thank you for those kind words. Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Janet McDonald. I live in Sun City. I have a question or comment or something about the perception of our public services, fire and police, mainly fire at this point. They've been putting in the fire statistics by week in the newspapers, and I appreciate that. Unfortunately, whereas with the police department, they tell you what the calls are. For the fire one, it's just numbers, so you don't understand, you don't get the background about it. What my concern is the categories of no resources available to respond to additional calls and total incidents unable to respond. And every week, for the most part, there's at least one or two. I've been keeping track, kind of funny that way. Where we can't respond to other incidences. It's a perception in the papers, and when we have new people thinking about coming to live here, they might look at that as, oh, do I really want to go when I may not be able to get an ambulance or a fire truck to my house if necessary. So if it would be possible to have an explanation for those, it's just an inter-facility transport, not a big deal, but if we can't respond to a fire or a medical emergency, such as what happened a few months ago when there was a minor accident in Sun City and then a garbage truck incident, where the press release showed that they couldn't respond to the garbage truck because fire because everything was tied up at a minor accident, which supposedly was quickly taken care of. So again, either the resources are not being properly delegated, or the perception is being indicated that we don't have enough protection here in Mesquite. Another incident was at the 4th of July celebration where we had hundreds of people, and then there was a grass fire in Calais, and everybody just disappeared from Eureka to take care of a grass fire. And then there was an incident where I guess there was a medical call, which we had to get a Bunkerville ambulance come to take care of somebody. What perception does that give out to the community and to future residents and to a bunch of tourists that were there, that a grass fire is more important than the people's lives of getting hurt, or possibly if there was a firework incident, then would that have not gotten put out? So that's my question, comment. You are investigating, or not investigating, but evaluating the fire department. Maybe this is coming up in that evaluation, and this company will be showing that. But it doesn't, to me, it gives the wrong impression, the wrong perception of Mesquite. It's a wonderful community. We have wonderful fire, we have wonderful police. But when you see things like that, you want to question are we doing things right? Thank you.
Okay. Appreciate your question and your comments. I'll probably let the fire chief take this. We do have backup when we can't respond, so nobody would be left unattended when we can't respond. Usually we're otherwise engaged. It's partly a staffing issue, but I'll let Chief Igley answer that question.
Thank you. Just on our statistics, the reason we don't give out a lot of details is because of HIPAA reasons. We can't give addresses, nature of the calls, especially the EMS calls. We have to protect the individual who's there. Recently, we did start putting in, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did start putting in explanations as to whether or not those were interfacility transports that we could handle, and the majority of those probably are. As far as inadequate staffing is being used correctly or whatever, it's inadequate staffing. And that's our problem, we just don't have enough. And the reason why they left the Eureka to go handle that was because those people who were at the Eureka were actually on duty, and that was all we had. So they had to respond to that fire. Those grass fires broke rather quickly. We had a reported structure fire this morning, and we had everything tied up. So usually about every third call, we have all of our resources tied up where there's nothing else available. Usually what will happen is the next call that comes in, we will take somebody and be able to break somebody away from that call. You know, we downgrade that call and break an ambulance away so we can handle that. As far as the incident where we had the car drive into the house up in Sun City and then the garbage fire that morning, we were able to break an ambulance away. They had to go back to the station, get a fire truck, and then take it over to the fire. I was there at that fire, watching it the whole time while we were waiting for a fire engine to arrive. But we were able to handle that. It just took a while for us to get there. The thing that was nice is that the Virgin Valley disposal saw their truck where the contents was on fire, was able to pull into a vacant lot and dump the load right there, so the truck didn't catch fire, but the garbage burned until we get there and put the garbage out. Does that answer your question?
Not really, but I understand what you're saying. It's still, the perception is still there.
Yes, but it's an accurate perception. The perception that we have inadequate staffing is correct.
Okay.
Thank you, John. We do have backup, however.
We do.
Yes. Okay, so even with staffing issues, there is contingency. We're not going to let anybody who's in distress be unattended or let any fire that's burning let it burn to the ground. So we do have backup in this case.